with a B. Story number 5. Has anyone else ever wondered how they get these random statistics on things in our everyday lives? Let me give you an example. Someone is 30% less likely to buy milk when they have to open a door to get it out of the shelf in a fridge at the grocery store. So, supermarkets all over started to implement open fridges where a customer can walk by and pick up chilled milk without having to open a door. Did you ever think about that? Or the fact that there's negative statistics that are purposely made for politics? Let me give you another example. School shooters are made to go inside of schools and unfortunately shoot the place up, tragically killing people and changing lives forever. This happens all across the globe and primarily in America, and let me elaborate further. Political leaders or anyone who wants a change, let's stick to this example, will pay to have innocent lives killed due to these shooters. In their minds, they think that by having the innocent shot to death will favor anti-gun laws being made. This is an active war that produces negative statistics that portray something to be what it's not. I'm not saying there aren't naturally school shooters existing among us. I'm saying that certain people can make it so it happens frequently. They can alter how often it happens in order to push their own agendas on what they want to happen with the world. In order to stage this on a massive scale, you obviously need money as well as power. I've shown you 2 examples so far on how some statistics are created in terms of the milk example and how another stat can be forced to happen in the school shooter example. I'm going to dive deeper on how this is all created, and it is up to you whether to be open-minded or not. The people that are put up to walking inside of a school and shooting someone, or being recorded walking past milk behind a glass door or in an open fridge to see whether they were by it or not, are called shadows. Shadows exist far from us and are on Earth, but very deep inside testing facilities. Don't get any stupid ideas on comparing this to the shitty movie Us that came out recently. This is far from that and has nothing to do with being tethered to anyone in any way. Shadows are literally unwanted humans being given up for adoption as babies, taken out during abortions and saved on a culture dish, or being born straight out of someone's vagina by one of the workers in these labs. These are professional researchers as well as scientists conducting experiments on these unwanted humans in these labs. You see, you can't use lab rats for sophisticated conductions like this. At some point, these scientists want real people to test. You're probably a little confused, so let me back up a little and give further explanation. Imagine a place like Area 51, right? This is the same concept. Top secret, huge facility, multiple layers underground, well-funded privately, and extremely intelligent people running the ropes. I mean, this place is fucking huge, guys. There is literally a mega grocery store inside it just to watch shadows go inside and shop. With milk on the list, of course. Remember the babies given up in the real world for adoption? The abortions, etc.? These are the shadows that have not lived normal life, nor are they ever going to. The normal to them is doing whatever the researcher has them do. Some of these shadows' only purpose in life is walking past an open milk fridge and being monitored as to whether they will buy it or not. At the giant grocery store, shadows are sent in and monitored on video by highly paid researchers. At the store in the milk section, there is one part that has milk on shelves without a cold glass door in front of it. And at the other side of the milk section, there is milk with a glass door and a customer must open in order to acquire the milk. Oh, and did I mention that this is solely the lifestyle for the particular type of shadow? From an infant, this type of shadow knows nothing else but to go inside a grocery store every day and pick up milk, and obviously a couple other ingredients. This is all these shadows know. There is nothing else to their lives, and from them being acquired before they even knew what life was, these researchers were able to mold their plastic brains into anything they wanted. Like I said before, these shadows were solely made for milk research. What type of milk is a customer most likely to go for? The one with a clear door in front of it, or an open fridge where you don't have to open a door? Yeah, these are real people, and to us, yeah, their lives suck, but to them, they know nothing else and have nothing to compare to, so why would they think their lives suck? Why would they try to escape or stop doing the same thing over and over until they can't walk anymore if they have no idea what is really out there? For them, this is what life is supposed to be. Going to the grocery store every day and grabbing milk. If anything, when they get all their items from the grocery store, they get a small dopamine rush as they think about coming back tomorrow. The shadows go all throughout the day at different times and have weird interactions whenever they bump into each other. They were raised to not talk to each other and they actually don't even know how to speak. Like a dog, the researchers had been leading them since they were able to walk from their house to the store. In fact, they aren't even paying for the milk or the other groceries. They just walk out. They are taught how to cook a little bit just to get basic necessities inside them. But if you cut open their throat, their vocal cords would be premature, never being used before. What other questions am I forgetting to answer for you guys? Keep in mind, these people are humans and are made just like you and me. Say you go get an abortion at a clinic. They stick something in your vagina, up into your uterus, and extract however big of a clump of cells your not alive baby was. The clinic people are then instructed to dispose of the operation a certain way. Whenever the garbage man comes to collect the specimen as well as other things commonly being thrown away at a doctor's office, he is then instructed to dispose of abortions in a special way. It goes down the line until these abortion baby cells, still salvageable, are in the hands of the researchers, illegally of course. Use your imagination on how absorption baby cells get into the hands of the researchers. Trust me, strings are pulled with money of course. Another way shadows are created is from the researchers themselves, literally having babies they donate for the research projects. The parents will never work with or train their own babies just in case they have a sudden change of thought and want to take their child out of this program. Did I mention the researchers get $50,000 a pop per baby donated? The last way is by adoption from the outside world. People from China especially have to give up their children due to gender or because they don't believe in condoms and already had their limit on kids. Guess where the babies would get sent off to? Right here to this facility, of course, to become a part of a research experiment. So how in the fuck does this place have so much money and is able to do whatever they want with all these different projects going on, as well as having to buy babies illegally? Remember the first example with the milk? Okay, well let me tell you, supermarkets all over the world paid billions with a B in order to have the knowledge on whether or not the majority of people want to open a door or not to get milk. Stores having information like this will be ahead in the long run. Stores everywhere were literally built based on this concept of whether to build the dairy section with open doors or not open doors. I mean, guys, this is a huge industry where the top 1% of the top 1% pay to know the secrets of real human culture and what the average dumbass wants. They're paying to know the secrets of the subconscious. You can't find these answers with lab rats, only real life people, just like you and me. They were just brought up in a bubble with no idea of the outside world. Kind of like the Truman Show, but in a more fucked up way. Lastly, we have to talk about shadows being school shooters before you shoot me for not elaborating on this. Okay, so just like the grocery store shadows, except these shadows live very segregated with the minimum requirements to keep them alive. They are then transported somewhere one day and given a gun from a researcher. Sometimes even a Bible as well, just to keep the scent cold or throw off suspicion of the public. Okay, motherfucker, you walk in there right now and start shooting, is what the shadows are told. They are also given LSD, so they have no idea what being told stop means. They just do it, cold stone. It's fucked up and horrible, but it happens. Does a researcher do this randomly on their own terms? Fuck no. Are they paid billions with a B by the extremely wealthy in order to hope to get guns banned? Fuck yeah. It's all business related, and like earlier, the top 1% of the top 1% pays this amount in order to make their own political agenda and have stats to prove why they are right and why others are wrong. The stats are real, but artificially made in order to have others who have no idea what's going on to believe. They want their point to be made and will sacrifice others just to prove something that there never was. Be careful when listening to random statistics and what you have your subconscious hold on to.
I can see how so many people would never like that story, finish this all the way through, or ever want to read it, because I just heard it for the first time read out loud to me, and I was like, dude, this is fucking ridiculous. But I wrote it, you know what I mean? Fuck yeah, it's very it sounds extremely like mentally unstable, crazy, in my opinion.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think I've read this to somebody before,
yeah.
and they were like, "Laser is fucked," and I was like, "You don't know Laser."
Yeah, no, for real. It's to have made this story, I guess, better and more accessible for everybody to read. Definitely not. So I'm not saying I believe anything I wrote. This is more of like a fictional magazine. Like, yeah.
It's like something that, I mean, who knows?
That was honestly kind of like a lot of fucking information.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you're just creating like a fan. Like, you like creating things that who knows?
That's not a fantasy though. That's evil real. And horror.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's like you wouldn't put it past humans that are in this world to do that.
Yeah, no,
right.
And I can definitely to have made the story easier to listen to. Give the milk example because I actually heard that in real life. Somebody that's smart said that, like, about the milk and how if there's a glass door, if you have to open the glass door, you're like 30% less likely to buy the milk versus if there's no glass door, if you can just grab it from the shelf. So like that's actually something that I heard in the school shooter example that I came up with. That's, yeah, I mean, those people are sick in the head and they deserve to not like be on this planet, obviously. I guess I gave that example just to show extreme opposites. Something so harmless as the milk versus something as crazy as like killing innocent people. Maybe that's where I was going with it. But again, like I'm not trying to appease to any sort of audience. I just wrote how I felt and how I envisioned the story. So naturally if I gave just two bizarre extremes like that, I feel like it shouldn't be like, fuck this kid. In a better reality, I could be like, okay, like two crazy extremes, like I like the contrast. That's kind of where I was going with it. And yeah, it's just very fictional, like sci-fi, like, hey, what if this is happening? Where, like, because when I heard the milk statistic, I was like, okay, how the fuck is this even like, how do you measure that? How's that even a statistic? And we hear things all the time like, oh, you're 47% less likely to do this if this happened. Studies have shown and proven by all these doctors. You know what I mean? Like, we can all, and even out, and I'm not saying just like on fucking Google, but like even in like textbooks and shit. Like, there's stuff like that in fucking textbooks. So my whole life, I've just been super like, oh my God, like, how did they come up with that? Oh my God, how did they come up with that? And when I heard the milk thing in 2019, over 2 years ago, I was like, dude, I need to make a story like that, have some weird spin on it. It's called With a B, like literally with A and then in quotation marks B, because the thing is, these are the billionaire companies like making shit like this happen, where they're able to take fucking human egg embryo from people getting abortions, and they think that they're legit getting an abortion because, like, you know, that's what they, you know, are planning on doing. And then like it's like, no, like these companies are actually taking that abortion, growing people, like literally growing people in like test tubes, incubation chambers to, oh shit, like say you're born in a tunnel underground. You don't know what the fuck the sun is. You don't know what a wolf is. You don't know what a flowing river is. So now, you know, they're feeding you, they're giving you this, or they're giving you that. And they say they train you from a very young age and condition and brainwash you to go to the grocery store and do the fucking, and walk past the milk thing. See if you're less likely to buy it if there is a glass door, or if nothing's changed, if there's not a glass door and it's just a free hanging like shelf where you can just grab the milk. You don't have to open it and get it that way and then close the door that was protecting the milk or shielding the milk from you just being able to reach it. Yeah, so I just kind of came up with like, okay, like this shit's happening underground, top secret, nobody knows about it. These are how statistics are made and how you get mass amounts of the population to do this at this certain time. And those were just the examples that I wanted to use, you know, something like as little and harmless as like doing the milk thing to like, oh no, there's actually politicians that are like paying for these crazy events with fucking mass shootings to happen, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, sure, like go ahead, like you can say I'm crazy and shit, which is completely fine, but I mean, there's like things like our presidents being assassinated from our own government, which like, you know, the JFK thing, or there's the whole 9/11 conspiracy. And I'm not saying I believe in any of this, I'm just saying like crazy things that have happened where it's like our own people killing our own people to get oil. Yeah. Or fucking money,
get whatever,
or control, or power. You know,
it's all about power.
And same with money, man. Same, dude. Fuck. Let's even, those are like super like microscope like conspiracy theory things. Let's say something that everybody knows. Everybody knows. Like mafia hitmen type people. Like if somebody's like does like, you know, if someone does something wrong or like, oh no, we're gonna get a new president in the shit or whatever, they'll kill their own people. Same thing. Like I just gave you two different analogies. Like probably pretty hard to compare, but that's just I don't know. That's where I came up with the story. I thought, I mean, probably one of my least favorite stories that are in this, but I mean, it stemmed from, do I listen to what the outside world tells me my entire life of like statistics and examples and like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, do I want to listen to information I'm told the rest of my life and like live through like second person like that, or do I want to be first person and like, oh, I know this information because I studied this and like saw it happen, versus like, oh, I'm gonna believe this because this person said so, which is how I think a lot of people live their lives. They live it because they believe everything that this source says, whether it's a human, whether it's a website, whether it's AI.
Oh yeah,
you know, like a lot of people believe it comes from bullshit somewhere. So this is kind of like the, oh hey, like maybe don't believe every single thing that I read or share. And you can equate this entire, if you want to, you can equate this entire fucking story to like social media and how like crazy that has become with like news and politics.
You can just boost the story real quick on there.
I think this is, I definitely have another political story or two in here, and that's the thing, that like it's my magazine. I wanted to be a little dicey, a little political, but you know, there's also some other stories. So, yeah, this was the one where it was like, dude, this is not an okay magazine, but fuck it.
Oh, there's some more stories coming. Trust me.